There are days when life changes as quickly as the crowds flowing along the banks of the Ganges. An unexpected phone call, a rejection, someone walking away, or a plan suddenly falling apart. From Varanasi to Mumbai, from the crowded streets of Delhi to the stillness beneath the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, people carry the same fear within them. If things do not go the way we hoped, will we be strong enough to keep moving forward? We often believe that the mind can only be at peace when life is stable, but life has never promised to always be gentle. Change, loss, and uncertainty are unavoidable parts of the journey. You cannot control every storm that comes your way, but you can train your mind so that you are not swept away by it. On this journey, we will learn how to observe our thoughts, accept reality as it is, and maintain inner peace no matter what life brings. The first lesson begins with a simple truth: not every thought that appears in your mind is true, and this truth can change the way you face the most difficult days of your life. When something unexpected happens, the event itself may not be the source of all your suffering. Much of our suffering begins with the story the mind creates afterward. Someone does not reply to your message, and your mind says, "They no longer care about me." You fail at something important, and your mind immediately concludes, "I am not good enough." Someone walks out of your life and fear whispers, "Maybe I will always be alone." Something has not even happened yet, but you have already imagined the worst possible outcome and begun suffering because of a future that exists only in your mind. This is how the mind turns a possibility into a conclusion, and then turns that conclusion into what feels like the truth. But remember, just because a thought appears does not mean you have to believe it. A fear is not a prophecy. An emotion is not your identity. In Buddhist teachings, thoughts and emotions can be observed like clouds passing across the sky. Some clouds are bright, some are dark. On certain days, the entire sky may seem covered, but behind them all, the sky is still there. Your mind is the same. When anger arises, instead of saying, "I am an angry person," simply recognize, "Anger is arising within me." When fear appears, do not immediately allow it to decide your actions. Pause and observe, "Right now, I am experiencing fear." That small space between you and your emotions is where your inner strength begins to grow. You do not need to eliminate every negative thought to become strong. You only need to learn not to hand control of your life over to every thought that passes through your mind. But even when you have learned to observe your mind, you may still suffer. If deep within yourself, you are fighting against something that cannot be changed reality, and this is one of the most exhausting battles a person can ever fight. It is not a battle with someone else, but a battle within the mind, between what actually happened and what you wish had happened instead. Perhaps you have found yourself thinking, "If only I had made a different choice that day. If only that person had not left me. If only I had not made that mistake. If only life had been fairer to me." But no matter how many times you repeat the words, "If only the past will not change," you are simply bringing a moment that ended long ago back into the present and reliving its pain once again. Imagine standing beside the Ganges River in Varanasi. The water before you never remains still. The water from a moment ago has already flowed away and cannot return. You may stand there longing for the old water to come back, but the river will continue to flow. Life is the same. Some people will come and go. Some doors will close. Some plans will never become reality. And there are some Acceptance does not mean that you agree with everything that has happened, nor does acceptance mean giving up or no longer trying. Acceptance simply means looking directly at the present moment and saying, "This is the reality of this moment." When you stop using your energy to fight what cannot be changed, you begin to have more energy to change what is still within your control. You cannot go back to yesterday, but you can choose how you live today. You cannot force someone to stay, but you can learn not to lose yourself when they leave. You cannot control everything life brings your way, but you can train your mind to choose how you respond to it. And when you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" another question begins to emerge. What can I learn from this pain? And sometimes that very question opens the door to an entirely different path. Because there are some pains you cannot erase from the past, but you can choose how you carry them with you. Think of Bodh Gaya, where the Buddha is believed to have attained enlightenment beneath the Bodhi tree. The path to awakening did not begin with a life completely free from suffering. It began by looking deeply into the nature of suffering and understanding why human beings become trapped within it. Your life may also have moments like these. A failure may cause you to question your worth. A betrayal may make you afraid to trust again. Someone leaving may create an emptiness you once believed could never be filled. But what happens to you does not have to define who you become. From the crowded streets of Mumbai to the stillness of Dharamshala, millions of people carry stories within them that others cannot see. Everyone has their own battles, their own losses and wounds that have never been given a name. You do not have to pretend that suffering is something beautiful. Loss is still loss. Rejection can still break your heart. Failure can still bring you to your knees. But when you cannot change what has happened, you can still choose what you will learn from it. Loss can teach you appreciation. Failure can teach you humility. Rejection can teach you that your worth does not depend on whether someone else chooses you. And loneliness can sometimes teach you how to return to yourself. So instead of constantly asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What is this pain trying to teach me?" You do not have to let your wounds become your identity. You can turn experience into understanding, loss into compassion, and your most difficult days into the place where your inner strength begins to grow. If you are going through a difficult season in your life, but still choose not to give up, leave the number 1 inch the comments, not to prove anything to anyone, but as a reminder to yourself, I am still here, and I am still moving forward, because understanding your pain is only the first step. If you want your mind to remain strong when greater storms arrive, you must train it during the most ordinary days of your life. And that training does not begin on the day your life falls apart. It begins in the small moments that most of us often overlook. Just as the body needs regular exercise to become stronger, the mind must also be trained every day so that it can remain steady in the face of pressure, uncertainty, and change. You cannot wait until you lose someone important to learn how to let go. You cannot wait until everything is beyond your control to begin learning acceptance. And you cannot wait until you are in the middle of a storm to start building the foundation of your house. The foundation must be built beforehand. The same is true for your mind. Every day, life gives you small opportunities to practice. When someone says something that makes you angry, you can react immediately, or you can pause for a few seconds before responding. When you find yourself waiting for a long time among the crowded streets of Delhi, you can allow frustration to take over your mind, or you can simply observe it without allowing it to control your actions. When a plan does not unfold the way you hoped, you can spend the entire day complaining, or you can accept that some things are simply beyond your control. When you feel sad, you can immediately reach for your phone to escape the emotion, or you can sit quietly for a few minutes and allow yourself to truly feel what is happening within you. These moments may seem small, but they are the training ground of the mind. Every time you choose to pause instead of react, you become stronger. Every time you choose to observe instead of judge, you become wiser. Every time you choose acceptance instead of resistance, you create a little more peace within yourself. In Buddhist practice, meditation is not meant to turn you into someone who no longer has thoughts or emotions. Meditation helps you realize that you can sit amid the movements of the mind without having to follow every thought and feeling that arises. At first, you may only be able to sit quietly for a few minutes. Your mind will wander, memories will appear, worries about tomorrow will return. But each time you notice that your mind has wandered and gently bring your attention back to your breath, you are practicing an incredibly important skill, the ability to return. And one day, that skill will no longer exist only when you are sitting in meditation. It will be there when someone hurts you, when your plans fail, when the future becomes uncertain, when life does not unfold the way you hoped. You will know how to return to yourself. That is why mental strength is not built in one extraordinary moment. It is created through hundreds of small choices that no one else ever sees. One breath before anger takes over. One pause before reacting. One moment of patience when things do not go your way. One more time getting back up when you feel like giving up. Train your mind during the ordinary days, because when the real storm arrives, you will not have to begin learning how to stand strong. You will already know how. But even a mind trained every day will struggle to maintain inner peace if you continually allow the chaos of the outside world to enter and take root within you. And this is something many people fail to realize. You may spend 10 minutes meditating every morning trying to keep your mind calm. But if for the rest of the day you constantly absorb anger, fear, comparison, and negativity, that inner peace will be very difficult to maintain. From the moment they wake up, many people reach for their phones. A negative news story, an argument on social media, an image of someone else's seemingly perfect life, a comment that disturbs you, and within just a few minutes before the day has truly begun, the mind is already filled with noise. Imagine your mind as a garden. Every thought you nurture is a seed. Every piece of content you consume is a seed. Every conversation you take part in is also a seed. If you spend every day watering fear, anger, and comparison, do not be surprised when one day you look within yourself and cannot find peace. This does not mean you have to run away from the world. You do not need to lock yourself in a room, leave Delhi or Mumbai, and retreat to some isolated place in the Himalayas to find a peaceful mind. What you need to learn is how to choose. Not every piece of news deserves your attention. Not every criticism requires a response. Not every argument needs to be won. And not everyone's opinion deserves a place in your mind. Sometimes strength is not found in reacting. Strength is found in being able to say, "This is not worth losing my peace over." Pay attention to what you are allowing into your inner world. How do the people you spend the most time with make you feel? Is the content you consume every day nurturing clarity or feeding anxiety? When you put your phone down, does your mind feel lighter or heavier? These small questions can reveal a great deal about the source of the chaos within you. Sometimes we try to heal the mind while continuing to feed it the very things that are hurting it. You cannot control all the noise in the world, but you can decide which noise you allow to remain within you. Create moments of space. A morning when you do not check your phone the moment you wake up. A meal without a screen. A walk where you simply listen to your breath and the sounds around you. An evening when you do not need to know what the entire world is thinking. This is not running away. This is how you protect the garden within you. And if these words have helped you realize that your peace also needs to be protected, take a second to like this video. Your small action may help this message reach someone who needs to hear it at exactly the right moment. Because in the end, a strong mind is not one that can endure an unlimited amount of chaos. It is a mind aware enough to know what to hold on to and what to let go of. And when you stop trying to carry the entire world inside your mind, you create more space to focus on what truly matters. Sometimes on the days when everything feels overwhelming, you do not need to figure out the answer to your entire life. You only need to know what your next step is. And sometimes trying to find the answer to everything is exactly what keeps you from moving forward. When life becomes difficult, the mind often wants to solve every problem at once. You lose a job, and immediately you begin worrying about your entire future. A relationship ends, and you start wondering whether you will ever find love again. A plan fails, and your mind instantly concludes that your whole life is heading in the wrong direction. You look too far ahead, and when you cannot see the entire path, fear begins to take over. But imagine walking along a mountain path in Dharamshala on a misty morning. You cannot see the destination. You may not even know which direction the path ahead will turn, but you can still see the next few steps in front of you, and sometimes that is all you need. When your mind feels overwhelmed, do not ask, "How can I fix my entire life?" Instead, ask, "What is the smallest thing I can do right now?" You may not know how to rebuild your life after a failure, but today, you can complete one small task. You may not know when your heart will fully heal from a loss, but right now, you can allow yourself to rest. You may not know where the future will take you, but you can wake up, step outside, walk for a few minutes, and take a deep breath. Sometimes the next step is simply eating a proper meal, calling a friend, meditating for 5 minutes, finishing something you have been putting off, or allowing yourself to stop when your body and mind have become exhausted. Do not underestimate small steps. A great river does not appear in a single moment. It is formed by countless smaller streams flowing in the same direction. Your inner strength is built in much the same way. You do not have to feel strong before you move forward. Sometimes it is the act of continuing to move while you feel weak that gradually makes you stronger. Every small step sends a message to your mind. I can still do something. I can still choose. I have not given up. And when those small steps are repeated, they create momentum. You begin to realize that even though you cannot control your entire life, you can still choose how you live in the present moment. That is where your strength begins to return, not by controlling the future, but by planting your feet firmly in the present. If you are still here with me at this point in the video, press like as a reminder that you are choosing to keep moving forward. And if you know someone who feels lost right now, share this message with them. Sometimes a person does not need to be shown the entire path. They simply need to be reminded that they can still take one more step. But remember, the next step does not always mean doing something more. Sometimes you have been trying for too long, running too fast, listening to too many voices from the outside world. And in those moments, the strongest thing you can do is not to keep running. It is to stop, to be still, and to learn how to listen to the silence within yourself. And perhaps this is one of the hardest things for many people. We have become accustomed to always having something to do, somewhere to go, someone to talk to, a screen to look at, a sound to fill the silence. From the crowded streets of Mumbai to the endless flow of people moving through Delhi, modern life rarely gives us the chance to truly be alone with ourselves. And sometimes we fear silence not because it is empty, but because when all the noise disappears, we begin to hear the things we have been trying to run away from. A memory that has not yet healed, a fear that has never been named, a question about life that we still cannot answer, a sense of loneliness quietly lingering beneath all the busyness. And so we keep running. We pick up our phones. We look for someone to talk to. We fill every moment with noise. But you cannot run from yourself forever. There is a profound difference between loneliness and the stillness of being alone. Loneliness says, I need someone to be here in order to feel complete. But stillness says, I can be here with myself and still feel at peace. That is why stillness has always held a special place in Buddhist traditions. From Bodh Gaya to monasteries, nestled among the mountains of Ladakh, people have sought moments of silence not to escape from life, but to see their own minds more clearly. You do not need to leave the city or live in a monastery to practice this. Sometimes all you need is 10 minutes. Turn off your phone, sit down. Do not try to change anything. Do not force your mind to become peaceful. Simply observe. At first you may feel uncomfortable. Your mind will search for something to hold on to. But if you stay long enough, you may begin to notice something. Behind all the noisy thoughts, there is still a place of silence. And that stillness has always been there. You do not need to search for peace somewhere far away. Not in the approval of others. Not in a perfect future. Not when every problem has finally been solved. Sometimes finding inner peace begins by removing some of the noise so that you can finally hear yourself. Learn to walk alone without feeling that something is missing. Learn to sit in a quiet room without immediately reaching for your phone. Learn to stay with your emotions without rushing to escape from them. Because when you are no longer afraid of being alone with yourself, the outside world begins to lose some of its power over you. You no longer need everyone to understand you in order to feel at peace. You no longer need someone to constantly be by your side in order to feel worthy. You begin to discover a place you can always return to within yourself. And when you can sit in stillness without running away, you begin to understand an entirely different definition of strength. because perhaps the strongest person is not the one who wins every battle in the outside world, but the one who has learned how to master the storm within. And sometimes the hardest storm to face is not the one outside, it is the one within you. It is the anger that arises when someone hurts you. It is the fear that whispers that you are not strong enough to face tomorrow. It is the ego that wants to prove you are right in every argument. It is the attachment that keeps you holding on to a person, a memory, or a past, that it is finally time to release. We often think that a strong person is someone who can control circumstances, defeat opponents, and make everything happen according to their wishes. But in Buddhist teachings, there is a far deeper battle. It is the battle to understand and master your own mind. Imagine standing among the chaotic crowds on the streets of Kolkata. All around you are car horns, conversations, and endless movement. You cannot ask an entire city to become silent just so your mind can be at peace. But you can learn to find a place of stillness within yourself, even in the middle of all that noise. Life is the same. You cannot make everyone treat you kindly. You cannot prevent every failure. You cannot guarantee that the person you love will never leave. But you can learn not to allow everything that happens outside of you to completely determine what happens within you. That is true strength. When someone insults you and you are mindful enough not to immediately respond with anger, you are becoming stronger than your own reaction. When fear appears but you continue moving forward, you are becoming stronger than your fear. When someone leaves and you are courageous enough to let go rather than lose yourself trying to hold on to them, you are becoming stronger than your attachment. And when life does not unfold the way you hoped, but you can still say, I will face this one day at a time, you are building a strength that does not depend on circumstances. A strong mind is not a mind that is hard as stone. Even stone can break under enough pressure. True strength is more like a river. It knows when to move forward. It knows when to change direction. It knows how to flow around rocks without having to fight against them. And most importantly, it keeps flowing. You do not have to win every battle either. There are arguments you can walk away from. There are people you can stop trying to convince. There are memories you can allow to remain in the past. There are things to which you can simply say, I am no longer willing to sacrifice my peace for this. If you are learning how to master the storm within, leave the number 2 inches, the comments. Let it be a commitment to yourself. I cannot control everything that happens, but I can learn to master the way I respond. Because in the end, the greatest victory is not when the entire world changes according to your wishes. It is when the world does not change yet, you still do not lose the peace within you. And perhaps that is where the journey of finding inner peace truly begins. And once you understand this, you can begin to see strength in an entirely different way. Perhaps you once believed that being strong meant never crying, never being afraid, never feeling lonely, never failing, and never allowing anyone to see your moments of weakness. But that is not strength. You can hide your tears and still be suffering inside. You can appear calm while your mind is filled with chaos. You can smile in front of everyone, yet when you return home alone, you may still not know how to face yourself. True strength is not about becoming someone who no longer feels emotions. Strength is being able to feel everything without allowing those emotions to destroy you. You can feel pain without losing yourself. You can be afraid and still move forward. You can fail without deciding that you are a failure. You can lose someone you love without losing your ability to love life. And you can live fully today, even when you do not know what tomorrow will bring. This is the kind of peace that so many people spend their entire lives searching for. But peace is not a destination you reach when all your problems have disappeared. If you wait until the day when there are no more difficulties before allowing yourself to feel at peace, you may be waiting forever, because life is always changing. Today, you solve one problem. Tomorrow, another challenge may appear. One door opens, another door closes. Someone enters your life, someone else leaves. Everything is constantly moving. Just as the Ganges continues to flow through Varanasi each day, life does not stop and wait for us to be ready. And perhaps finding inner peace is not about trying to stop the river from flowing. It is about learning not to be swept away by every change in its current. When something beautiful comes into your life, appreciate it but do not cling to it. When difficulties arise, face them, but do not allow them to become your entire life. When someone enters your life, love them. When the time comes for them to leave, learn how to let go. When success comes, be grateful. When failure appears, learn from it and keep moving forward. You do not need to control all these things in order to find peace. You only need to understand that they will all change. And in the midst of all that change, you can continue returning to your breath, to the present moment, and to yourself. This is the deepest meaning of training your mind to remain strong no matter what happens. It is not about building a wall so that life can never touch you. It is about building a peaceful place within yourself so that whenever life shakes you, you still know how to find your way back home. You will still have sad days, moments of fear, times when you doubt yourself. But now you understand that one difficult day does not mean you have a terrible life. One failure does not determine your future. One loss does not take away all the value and meaning from your life. And no storm, no matter how powerful, lasts forever. When you understand this, you no longer need life to always go according to your plans in order to feel at peace. You begin to discover peace, even in the midst of uncertainty. And perhaps that is one of the greatest strengths a human being can ever learn to cultivate. And as we come to this point in the journey, perhaps you have realized something. The goal was never to create a life without difficulties. You cannot stop everyone from leaving. You cannot avoid every failure. You cannot predict the future, and you cannot control every change waiting ahead. But you can train your mind. You can learn to observe a thought without immediately believing it. You can accept reality without continuing to fight against what has already happened. You can allow pain to become a lesson without allowing it to become your identity. You can protect your mind from unnecessary chaos. You can stop trying to solve your entire life in a single day and simply focus on the next step. And when the outside world becomes too loud, you can return to the stillness within yourself. This is how a strong mind is built, not in a single day, not after one meditation session, but through every small choice. One breath before reacting, one moment of silence before anger takes over, one act of accepting what cannot be changed, one moment of letting go of what is no longer meant to stay, one small step on a day when you thought you could not keep going, and one day you will look back at the storms you have survived. You will remember the nights when you thought everything was over, the times your heart was broken, the moments when you had no idea where to go next, and you will realize that you are still here. Perhaps life did not become easier, but you became stronger, not because you no longer feel pain, but because you have learned how not to lose yourself within it. Not because you are no longer afraid, but because fear no longer decides the path you take. Not because life is finally under your control, but because you no longer need to control everything in order to feel at peace. That is finding inner peace. A place within yourself that you can always return to, no matter how much life changes around you. So keep practicing, day by day, breath by breath, moment by moment. You do not need to become perfect. You simply need to keep returning. And the next time life brings you a storm, remember this. You do not need to make the storm disappear. You only need to remember that you have already learned how to stand strong within it. If today's journey has brought you even a little peace, a new perspective, or simply the strength to keep moving forward, please subscribe to Healing Journey Buddhist Meditation and join us as we continue exploring Buddhist wisdom, healing the soul, and finding peace from within. And our journey does not end here. Right now you will see the next video I have chosen for you on the screen. If you are trying to let go of someone, a memory, a painful experience, or something beyond your control, click on the video appearing on your screen and continue this journey with us. Because sometimes becoming stronger does not mean trying harder to hold on. Sometimes you simply need to learn how to gently let go. I will see you in the next video on Healing Journey Buddhist Meditation. May you have the strength to face what cannot be changed, the wisdom to let go of what no longer belongs in your life, and enough inner peace to keep moving forward, no matter what tomorrow may bring.